Well, I think what contributes to the success of the airport is just the teamwork that we see here at Laramie between the airline, the airport employees, which I'm involved with, and the TSA. The teamwork. We strive to get the planes out on time and with the least disruption as possible, and any way that our staff can help. The airline people or the TSA get the plane out quicker. It's just good for the whole airport and the whole community and the flying public is who we're interested in mostly. We get FAA funding if a commercial service airport boards 10,000 people in a calendar year. They are eligible for $1 million in capital improvement grants. So those grants have to be used for runways, taxiways. You can also use it for planning projects, airport lighting. We built our parking lot and fuel farm with the federal funds. So as long as we're getting the 10,000 boardings in a year, we're eligible for that $1 million, and it's a FAA grant that's 93.25% federal funds, so it only has to be matched by 6.75% or whatever. So
that's a heck of a deal.
yeah, it's really good money and the state aeronautics has been good. They match. They come up with like 3 or 4%, and then the local match is minimal. So we can get a project built here at the airport, an over $1 million project, and local matches is less than $50,000. Well, we've been steadily climbing. I believe we were right around 13,000 employments, which is a huge improvement over just in 2010. We had approximately 7,600. So we did not get our federal grant at that point. Well, we did get a federal grant, but that money drops from $1 million to $150,000.
That's a big decrease.
It is a big decrease. And so, for instance, if you board, say, 9,900 instead of the 10,000, your money drops. So there was a stretch there where we did not board 10,000, and we were in that $150,000 pool. But ever since we've had SkyWest move in here, which was November of 2012, our boardings have steadily increased. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of business, but around the holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and even spring break time, we get a lot of students that utilize the airport. They're starting to find out that it's an economical deal to fly out of Laramie, that we have free parking, security lines are short and quick. Usually the cost, if they plan in advance and do a lot of research and book their tickets 30 days, 15 days out, the cost is not that much more to fly out of Laramie. And when you take into account the bad weather and the cost of parking down at DIA, it's a good deal. So, as more and more students use it, and then the word gets out that it's convenient for them, then I think we're going to see more use from students and everybody else. Usually during the rest of the year, it's mostly business travelers, but we do have leisure travelers in the summer that are visiting the mountains and that kind of stuff. A lot of hunters in September, October fly in and out. So, and we do have some regulars that are flying almost every week. They maybe live in Laramie but travel on a weekly basis to for their jobs, and they found out how convenient it is how easy it is to fly out of here, so they use it also. Well, we're kind of a unique airport in the fact that we own the fueling operation. Laramie Regional Airport owns the fueling operation, which is Cowboy Aviation. So our main revenue source is from fuel sales, jet fuel sales, and aviation gas sales. So we generate revenue from fueling. We generate revenue from the rental car, Hertz rental car that's out here at the airport. We generate revenue from the airline. SkyWest Airline pays counter rent, landing fees, those types of things. And then we do get some funding from the city and the county also. In the past few years, our numbers have increased and Cheyenne's has decreased. And like you said, their main competition is the highway. And there's people in Laramie that continue to drive. We get a lot of leakage to Denver, that people, and I understand we're not going to capture everybody to fly out of here. There are people that drive and will continue to drive, but you'll find that these regional airports like us, Riverton, Sheridan, the further away from a hub that you get, the more people they're going to capture in their community that are going to use that airport. The closer you are to a major hub like Cheyenne is to Denver, and even Laramie, I think we capture about 35% of people that fly out of Denver fly from Laramie Regional. So, there's still quite a few people out there that are driving down that we would like to get on board here. The airline that SkyWest flying is a United Express carrier, which means they're tied in with United, and you can book a round trip from Laramie to anywhere that United flies on the United website. The standards that SkyWest has to operate by under the United banner, that has helped quite a bit. Just the reliability and the professionalism of SkyWest Airlines has helped our rankings improve greatly. I mean, they're one of the best regional carriers around, if not the best. They're the best that we've ever seen as far as professionalism, getting people there on time, cancellations, those types of things are important to SkyWest. It's important to our passengers that fly out of here. So just the confidence that the flying public has in the airline that operates out of here is what's helping our ranking. And that's also a function of our proximity to the hub. The further away you get, so for instance, Rock Springs or Cody or even a Jackson, their fares are going to be higher because of the destination and the distance from the hubs that they fly into. It just costs a little more to fly from Cody. The plane costs more to operate, so your fares therefore are going to be higher because it's a further distance and they're using more fuel, pilot time, all those things that factor into the cost of the aircraft are more. And so because of our proximity, our fares are fairly low compared to those other places. But also the tie-in with United has been huge as far as fares. Our main local company that has planes based here is Premier Bone and Joint. They have 4 King Air aircraft that travel to clinics throughout the state of Wyoming on a daily basis. They have 4 full-time pilots, 4 really nice King Air aircraft, King Air 90s, and they take their doctors and nurses to the clinics throughout the state. And so those 4 are based here, and they, you know, some days there's only one of those King Airs gone, but other days all 4 will be flying to clinics throughout the state. Also, Farm Bureau has a nice aircraft that's based here, and University of Wyoming has 2 weather research King Air, and then another King Air for transportation purposes. So, you know, there's others that fly in on a regular basis. Lately, in the last 6 months, we've seen a lot from Pete Lean and Associates coming down from Rapid City, and they're building a quarry out north. So people from their headquarters are flying, and they're finding it really convenient to fly in and out of here, and they keep a vehicle at the airport and are able to transport their people to the quarry site, and we see those guys 2 to 3 times a week. Well, our terminal building is in need of some improvement. We're just starting the planning phase of a remodel and expansion of the terminal. With the larger aircraft, obviously we need larger lobby space, and the checkpoint, the TSA checkpoint room right now cannot accommodate a full aircraft of 50 passengers. So we need to increase the size of the terminal, and we are getting some federal funding for that, but again, it's going to be several different funding sources to tackle that project. So we will get some state aeronautics funding, some FAA funding, and hopefully some local city and county funding to expand the terminal. And then in 2018, we've got a major rehab of our main runway. Our main runway is 8,500 feet long by 150 foot wide. That surface has been down since 1992. It's held up quite well, but it's going to undergo a major rehab in 2018, which has a current cost estimate of about $6 million. So we'll have to use several years of our FAA grants to tackle that project. But in the next 2 years, we're hoping to begin work on the terminal building.